Hi! Hi, it's me, it's Alka. Oh my god. Alka's here. Let me prepare this thing. This was my old... the team for a previous finale. Let me set that up for when the proper finale starts, which will be in only a few minutes. It's not a long time, don't worry. A little preview of the squad. Team image. And then I'll also set up the death image, because we had one. Sad. And that's this one. Sad. So much sad. But first we have something else to do. We have a glitch. What route am I on in this moment? 122, 123, something like that? What does the town map say? Did I ever grab that? No? What route is this? 122? No, that's below. 121 still? Route 121. Here on Route 121, there's this kind old man that can get you from 2 steps away. I need to not be interrupted because that ruins the clip. Here on Route 121, there's this old man who can see you from 2 steps away, so he can do 1 step towards you. So normally you just fight him just when you're standing next to him. However, if you clear away the... It's so simple! Okay, who's getting the PP up? Oh, I didn't do the EV training. I'm gonna quickly peek a hex to fix that. I'm doing so well. Good start. Okay, huh. Who should get the final PP up? Definitely Ancient Power got a lot of them. Earthquake might be good on Crust. Although it's also weak to Rock and Steel, so... Beach Ball? Knowing I might use it against Phoebe, I'll throw it on Crunch. Here on Route 121 in Hoenn, there's this old man who can step 1 square towards you when he sees you. And normally you just fight him when he's next to you, just above, like 2 squares north of where I am. However, if you grab this item and you stand south of him, he can stand on the fence. We already had a lady that can go over ledges, a little boy that can go through walls. This old man can stand on a fence. Oh, he certainly has confidence in his abilities. I can't do that. And that is all of the glitch that I wanted to show. I didn't get to show that. I wanted to show some fun things. So, what I'm immediately going to do is turn off this sound. And make sure that clip works. Because I want to throw that on YouTube Shorts. This is the only proper interruption for the finale. Easy. Normally in Hoenn. Okay, we can turn this one back on, we can beat the guy. Then we'll go to the Pokemon League and do the EV training by just PK hexing it. I'll take a screenshot as well for the Foreverlocke Discord just to show, hey, this seems wrong. Got all those. I got a lot of clips from this playthrough for glitches, some other fun things they did with contests. The maxi glitch. Still don't know how that happened. But that was interesting. Okay, let's heal our Pokemon. Let's actually do a prediction. I've not done one in a while. How many Pokemon will enter the Hall of Fame? Yeah. You can use channel points or just press the button if you don't want to wager any channel points. I'm asking in this poll, how many of my team will enter the Hall of Fame? We have Swallow, Breloom, Armaldo, Wingull, Shelgon, and Trico. I will properly introduce you after I've gone to Pika Hex for a second. Let's quickly do something here. Sell things that I'm definitely not going to use. Sands I'm definitely not using. Skill swap I shouldn't. This gives me a few more healing items. I think it's doable with 6, otherwise I wouldn't have gone into this finale, but it is really scary. Okay, I'm gonna quickly go to Pika Hex to finish the EV training that I don't think I finished, which... I don't know, I had time to do it. I just wonder, what if Brendan and May were married before Legends Hoenn game was announced? That could certainly be a thing. Like, if it's enough time into the future. Foreverlocke, Nuzlocke, Gen 3, Ruby. Can I even improve them still? Oh, massively. Breloom, I want some more on speed. It's been a little while since I've done the finale, I guess. It took in a lot of time in Ruby. Let's do a quick check. If I have all the items that I want, I have a reminder set up here. Something that I want to do right at the end. After the Drake fight, before Steven, I'm changing Swallow's item and teaching Breloom a different move. Until then, Breloom has lefties with that. That's correct. Gonna try and set up with bulk up maybe. Swallow has the right moves. I was considering Facade, but the only way I can consistently get status on me is in the Phoebe fight, and then Facade won't affect them anyway. So Choice Band, yes. Wingull. Never Melt Ice, because Ice Beam is just the best move. Lefties. Special attack is definitely closer to physical attack now. That is good. Got a lot closer with the training. At least we're gonna get flawless, but I'm just gonna put the image of Helix next to my screen just to cheer for you. Lord Helix, please assist us in our victory. Yeah, this is how we're gonna do it. Ba-dum-ba-bum. Ba-dum. Hello everyone, I am Auka1993. Welcome to the Foreverlocke finale of Pokémon Ruby. The end of playthrough 61. We're so far in, just over 3 years through the challenge now, and we're far from done. Still having loads of fun with it. This is going to be a scary finale. Our team is pretty good, but at the same time it has some weaknesses, and some of those weaknesses are in the E4 champion. I trained them up a little more than I would usually do. Normally I would take 3 levels under the champion, which would get me to 55. I trained everyone up to 57. Had 11 rare candies, which I then spent on them. And we ended up with the following team. Skydive the Swallow, who was caught in this playthrough. Our first UR, caught on Route 104, with Steel Wing Double Team Return Aerialist as a choice band, has had that for most of the playthrough. I intend to keep it on Skydive because I'll mostly be using Return, although it'll be Aerialized against Phoebe. Would I use Skydive there? I will be switching it to a Leftovers. Please remember, after Drake, before Steven, to try Double Team strategy to hopefully dodge some things there, even though Swallow is weak to some of Steven's moves. Maybe Double Team will work. You know, Fruit Punch, who was also caught in this playthrough, Petalburg Woods. Leftovers on it, Bulk Up, Brick, Mach Punch, and then Sludge Bomb. Originally I had Mega Drain, I was going to teach a Giga Drain, but it wasn't going to be that useful, except maybe against Wallace. But Wallace had some ice moves as well, and I had other Pokemon that could deal with it pretty well. And I can hit much harder with Brick. Bulk Up is nice. I can set up with that. The idea is that just like with Skydive where I change item after Drake, for Fruit Punch I'm going to remove Sludge Bomb and then teach it Protect in that slot after Drake, before Steven, so that I can do a potential bulk up setup and then protect myself, get some extra healing, stuff like that. Krusty Armaldo has good attack but has a lot lower speed than it had as an Anorith. I've returned Aerialize Ancient Power Earthquake. Ancient Power, nice stab move. I really hope I get an Omni Boost at some point, especially against Glacia, because Glacia might be the scariest of the E4. But if I get an Ancient Power boost on the first Glalie, that might be okay. Ba the Wingull doesn't take hits too well, but it's pretty fast. It can hit pretty well with special attacks, so Ice Beam or Water Pulse will probably be my main 2 moves. Beach Ball is the only one that wasn't on the starting 6. Not that I started with 6 Pokemon. Some of them had to be caught or unlocked as I progressed through the gyms and getting new level caps. Beach Ball is the only replacement to a Pokemon that I've ever had to do, because the one Pokemon died against Winona. I'll show you who that was in a second. Beach Ball came in because I knew that with the team how it was originally, Steven was going to be an absolute problem. Beach Ball gives me some more protection against Steven. Not many resistances, but just good stats. I AV trained it in some special defense, special attack to help with that. The team could handle Steel types with Fruit Punch, but if the Steel type also has a type that is good against fighting, like Flying, Skarmory, or Psychic, Metagross, I would have a problem. And Beach Ball has Flamethrower for both of them, has some special attack, special defense increases to hopefully take at least a Psychic from Metagross. And go from there. Sky the Trico, named after a very close friend who will really want to see this Trico in the Hall of Fame. Has had Giga Drain the entire time, and then has had Rock Smash Cut and I think either Screech or Detect, depending on when in the playthrough. I put Protect and Toxic on it to maybe use some of that and then stall with the Protects or that I have now or that Fruit Punch will have later. Might work. Dig to maybe use against the Metagross, and it stalls for a turn for Toxic. Not that Metagross can get Toxic. It might work better against some of Steven's Pokemon than Giga Drain. I don't intend to ever use Trico though. Ba and Sky are intended not to be used, but yeah, it's gonna be scary. Our one death we had was Olivine the Nosepass, who was a fun team member. Has a nice. I like to have a nice defensive Pokemon who can take hits even if they don't resist a move. Olivine was that. I used it against Winona, but I had to use it against the Skarmory as well. And Skarmory needed to, multiple times in a row, not get a critical hit while I healed, attacked, healed, attacked, healed, attacked. They got a crit. It was bound to happen at some point, so Olivine did not make it. Replace it with Beach Ball. I greatly considered changing another Pokemon out, intentionally killing a Pokemon to put something else in to have a higher chance in the E4. But I also realized Gen 3 doesn't have that many Pokemon more in the box. Sure, especially some of the later ones like Rayquaza, Zapdos, Lugia are great. And some of the ones in between can be really good. But if I use all the good ones now, I'm going to just end up with a more average, weaker team later. It's scary. Sydney I should be able to deal with. Phoebe is going to take a bit longer, a bit scarier, but should be safe. Glacia has ice and water types. That is super effective against everything that isn't Wingull, and Wingull just isn't strong enough. How am I going to do that? I'm going to start with Crust and hope for Ancient Power Boost, and otherwise set up with Fruit Punch against the Celio that knows Ice Ball instead of Ice Beam, and hope from there that it works. Knowing that Fruit Punch will fight a lot against Glacia, even though it's weak to it, I give Fruit Punch all the levels that it could get with the rare candy. Then it's Drake, who, like, my team is not as bad against dragons, but the dragons are generally very strong. Still scary. And then Steven just has the highest levels. Also Skarmory and Metagross, especially purely based on type, are scary. Beach Ball with Flamethrower can help against that, but I think for the Skarmory, I might set up double teams with Skydive. Even though they have Aerial Ace, I think I'm going to set up the double teams to hopefully fuse for later, but then again, if they hit one good rock move, like their own Armaldo's range of power, yeah, maybe that won't go too well. We have our team. We have our healing items. I think it was last playthrough, the playthrough before, where I didn't feel too confident going into the E4, and then we lost a couple Pokemon. It became... I think when it was Coliseum last time in Gen 3 that I kind of felt like this, where I thought, ooh, this might be really troublesome. Ended up just passing with 3 Hall of Famers then. I actually have a prediction that I set up in stream. So this is pretty tied on how many Pokemon people think will make it through. First 2 fights should be okay. Might give us a level that helps later on. They actually only check Winona's badge here. So if I would use Pika Hex to somehow get here with only Winona's badge, they go through. Because the HM usage and just general, you need it to progress the story things. You need every gym badge except the Fortree gym, Winona's gym badge, to even get to this location, legally. So the only one they really need to check for is Winona. Welcome, Challenger. I'm Sydney of the Elite Four. I like that look you're giving me. I guess you'll give me a good match. That's good. Looking real good. Alright, you and me. Let's enjoy a battle that can only be staged here in the Pokemon League. With the extra trading I did, plus the levels from the rare candies, with Breloom having the most, this is going to be the biggest level difference we're going to see in the E4. 16 levels. This is the level difference that you might get on a standard playthrough of X and Y if you fight everyone. Alright, I have been weakened a bit. I could bulk up, but I don't want them to sand attack me. And with the level difference plus Fruit Punch's power, I should be able to just break, punch him. Absol has Aerial Ace. I expected that one, so we're going to use Armaldo here. Resets the Intimidate as well. So we can just go back into Breloom in a moment. Return for hardest damage. Hope I'm at maximum friendship. I didn't check that. If it's not maximum damage, it's close. Got a critical, got him down. 8 level difference from Crust. Sharpedo wants to hit us super effectively with Surf. We're just gonna go back to Breloom, because Breloom resists both stab moves. Also, for those in Twitch chat, during battles, I'm not looking at chat just because I want to focus on my strategies, not forget that I'm confused, or any other things that I want to think about. I've made that mistake a few times before. I will chat with you between battles and respond to any questions, concerns, things you said, oh, you should have done this. I'll let you know after. Okay, we're gonna do this one with Skydive. Here's Shiftry. I've already Hall of Famed Shiftry. Did that on Pokemon Sword, my first Gen 8 playthrough. There we go, you're done. To use Cacturn, we can just stick with Skydive for that, considering we have it out. It's already locked into Aerialize anyway. That is a simple one to start with. Just a few power points lost, a little bit of HP damage. That was a safe one. Little intro to what's to come. Maybe I should have used Breloom more just because I know how important it is to use Breloom later. I need all the levels I can get. Let's grab healing items. Energy Root is fine for Fruit Punch. I'm going to use the Hyper Potion on Skydive, because Skydive used Return. Let's see, it's Skydive, Crust, and Beetle with Return, so I should not be using Energy Root on them, because that weakens their Return. Phoebe. Who was I going to start with Phoebe? I don't remember. They can't hit me with some of their moves with Skydive. I think I was going to Skydive and just Aerialize, and I have Guts as an ability. So that might activate if they use something like Will-O-Wisp on me. I have Beach Ball to use as well. That could be fun. How many Ethers do I have? Plenty, I think. Yeah. I found plenty during the playthrough. Okay, this can be kind of tricky, but should be relatively safe as long as I pay attention. I'm Phoebe of the Elite Four. I did my training on Mount Pyre. I hear you caught a Duskull there, or close to it. Well, I trained to gain the ability to commune with Ghost-type Pokemon. Yes, the bond I developed with Pokemon is extremely tight. So, come on, just try and see if you can even inflict damage on my Pokemon. Alright, but you have some pretty defensive Pokemon. But I have a Pokemon with some pretty good attack stat and Choice Band equipped, so that'll help add damage. Let's see how much it does against Dusclops. 12 levels higher. Over half, good enough. Future Sight, actually, that might be the best I can do. Because they were not going to Shadow Punch, because that doesn't affect me. Better than Confuse Fire Curse. I can just keep hitting them, and we'll just get the Future Sight hit in another turn from now. To go for their other Dusclops makes sense because it has Ice Beam. Which also hits Beach Ball, which also hits Fruit Punch. Do I Crust here? They have Citrus Berries, so I'm gonna be hurt extra hard. Although, doesn't Citrus Berry activate on a quarter of health or below? You know what? I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna play Crust. It will get my Future Sight in another turn. Okay, I have plenty of Ethers, so I can Ancient Power here to try and get a boost. Although Earthquake will be stronger. Confuser, I can just heal that. I have a Yellow Flute. Future Sight comes in here. That wasn't too bad. I guess Leftovers counts before Future Sight. Didn't get the heal. Yellow Flute. Field of Confusion. Frost is some good defense. That shouldn't deal too much. Yeah. Heal a bit. I'll just Ancient Power again to save myself from using Ethers. Oh, Citrus Berry also activates only at the end of the turn? Question? Seems like it might. Yeah. I think it's in later generation that it is instant the moment it hits the trigger. Here it's a bit later. Do I heal? I'll throw in a heal. Actually, no one has a maximum HP of 200 or more, so I can just use the max potion. Okay, just have a bit more HP going into whatever Pokemon comes next. That's why I did it. Okay, critical hit now. That doesn't help. Don't have the Omnibus, but it's only 10%. I want the Omnibus next fight. Bayonet, the first Bayonet. They're both female, they're both level 49, so you can't tell which one is which when it comes out. Which is unfortunate. I think in, like, any game after this where if they have the same Pokemon twice, it's either different levels or one is female, one is male, so you can tell them apart. Even I think Lance has that with his, in Heart Gold Soul Silver, his level 47 Dragonite. I kind of, like, I don't want this to KO, then I want you to Will-O-Wisp me. Feint attack. Alright, this is the first of the two Bayonet. That's listed in the team sheet. I wanted them to Will-O-Wisp me. Sure, it would deal a bit of damage between turns, but it would activate Guts. Give me a 1.5 times damage multiplier, which probably would mean I could one-shot everything from here. With how many Ethers I have, and even Lepa Berries, I'll use one on Aerial Ace and then for sure on Ancient Power. Okay, Sableye has Attract, but both Pokemon are female, so that's safe. It's about the same. Psychic, try and lower my special defense, does not work, using their second full restore. More Aerial Ice, hitting hard, let's go. Choice Band not really making much of a difference here, it would have been a 2-shot anyway. Skydive especially is good in speed. That's some good attack, like 80 base, 85. And Aerial Ice is only 60 power, I have to remember that. The Choice Band boost is useful in quite a lot of cases, but here, not as much. Okay, survive that hit! Oh my god, the moment I started attacking, saw my HP, I'm like, oh, this could actually be bad. But we're good. We're good. Was I going to use Swallow much in future fights? Maybe against Drake? We're good. We're safe. We're through the fight. Let's heal our Pokemon. Let's heal our Pokemon. Okay. Heal. Ether Crust, Ancient Power, Ether, Skydive, Aerial Ace. How many Lepa Berries do I have? 13! I'll be fine. I probably intentionally grew some. Yeah, it was, I think, some Lepa Berries and a Pecha Berry while I was doing contests in Verdanturf at the start. Like, once I got there, I grew a few berries there. And mostly Lepa Berries, knowing it would be useful against the E4. Okay, this is actually... This is where the scary bit starts. The first few fights were pretty safe. Like, obviously I still needed to pay attention. You saw that against the Bayonet. Almost lost my Swallow. But this is where the actual scary bit starts. 3 fights where I either have major weaknesses or I just don't have a great strength against them. First, Glalie can hit me super effectively, but I can hit them back also really hard. Also, I wasn't going to start with Fruit Punch. I was going to start with Crust. Because they can hit Fruit Punch super effectively. Even though the Glalie should go down in one hit, I want to use Crust to try and get a boost off of Ancient Power. If I get that boost, I'll continue using Armaldo. If not, improvise Be Scared. Because then everything except their Glalie is good against everything except Wingull. They might not one-shot all of them. Certainly in crit range, everything. Even Wingull. I'm very scared. I have Armaldo up front, right? I checked that. I needed to know this. Welcome. My name is Glacia of the Elite Four. I've traveled from afar to Hoenn so that I may hone my ice skills. But all I've seen are challenges by weak trainers and their Pokemon. What about you? It would please me to no end if I could go all out against you. Something tells me you'll be able to, Glacia, because my team does not have an ice resistance. At all. 2 Pokemon that aren't weak to it. If I got to the E4 and I decided, okay, I stand too low of a chance to win, I would have replaced one of my Pokemon to something that resists, at the very least, Ice. Maybe even Dragon. I'm not sure I have a Steel type around, though, but something that would give me a better shot against Glacia. Maybe even something that just resists Water. Ooh, they go first. That's no good. I even gave myself some extra speed EVs. I'm just so slow. And Hail being active isn't too bad now, but it helps. Okay, do it. Do I get the boost? Boost, 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 boost. Nope. Hail means I take a bit of damage, which basically nullifies my leftovers. And it also means that the Celio and the second Celio and then the Walrein can hit Blizzard. Here's the thing, they're sending out Celio, I don't know which one. So here's where we're taking a risk. I hope that this is the level 50. Nice. Okay, I'm sending in a Pokemon that's very weak to Ice. But then again, Armaldo is weak to Water, which they use with Surf. This specific Celio has Ice Ball instead of Ice Beam or Blizzard. The idea is set up a bulk up, meaning I'll get hit with an Ice Ball. But this basically stalls a turn of Hail, but also boosts me up. Boosts me up so that I can one-shot everything from here, hopefully. With Fruit Punch, it's pretty good speed, plus its levels, plus its extra attack investments, plus the bulk up that now gives the 1.5 times multiplier. It should be good. They did 35 damage, so next hit will be 70 damage. On a crit, that would be 140. I can die from here. Brick Break. I believe I did a speed check. Walrein to Fruit Punch. And it's Fruit Punch that is a bit faster. I'm going to check it again to be sure. Balloon, base speed 70. Walrein 65, so it should be faster. However, Glalie, now that I think about it, is 80. I'm not sure if I thought about that part. And they could send out Glalie as well. Everything has super effective moves against me. But I have this boost. There goes Celio. That thing can for sure take me out. That thing is Blizzard. I especially did the bulk up for Walrein. Because not only is that the strongest, it has Blizzard. It has a Citrus Berry to heal. This was turn 2. No, turn 3 only of Hail. So it's 2 more turns of Hail. Break, break. I just want to make sure I go before Glalie. I'm scared of that one, because that Glalie would take me down. And I don't... If the Glalie comes out before Walrein, I don't want to switch back to Armaldo to be safer against a Glalie, because Glalie doesn't have a water move, so it's safer with Armaldo. But by doing that, I undo my Brick Break, and I feel like I really need that for Walrein. Walrein next. That is great, because then I can use Armaldo against Glalie if I wanted to. But this is the big one. Why I even did the setup. Break, go first. High attack, super effective stab, plus bulk up. Okay. That's the scariest part done. But we're not done. There's Glalie. Do I stay in and actually risk that I'm still slower? I am, what is it, 10 levels higher? But 10 base speed lower, do have some investments. They have Ice Beam. I could go to Crust. Armaldo. 80 special defense, 75 HP. I think that's safe enough. I'll go... Just in case they don't outspeed, I'll go Armaldo. Because they still have Ice Beam, they can still crit me. That stopped. They set up Hail again, which is great. They love having Hail active. That gives me a turn to hit them. Watch me get a boost now. Okay, we're past Glacia. I was real scared about Glacia. But I was also really scared about the other fights. Crust gets a level out of it. Okay. That's one done. That's the one I've resisted the least. I have better resistances against some of the others, but, you know, Flygon, Salamence, Drake's Dragons have a very varied move pool, like move set. So need to pay a lot of attention to a lot of things. Keep pumping up that. Druida Fruit Punch. After Drake, before Steven, I do 2 changes. That is not yet. Speaking of Drake, the Dragon type Elite Four, I remember the theory of the original Dragon. Like I see a Pokemon and Pokemon Sword randomized video, and I know its design is very nice, but the moveset, and that's why I say, dang, only this Pokemon Sword safe with too many mods. The person had the save added too many Pokemon. Yeah, you could say that. Something interesting I find is that the Raihan's gym outfit, like the entire Dragon outfit that he has, is based on Lance's outfit that Lance has in some of the later games, which I think is cool. I think it's mentioned in the anime when Raihan and Lance fight each other. Okay, we go to Drake. I think we start Shelgon versus Shelgon. For Altaria, probably Crust. For Flygon, maybe Beach Ball. I don't remember what I was going to do. The only one with a super effective move against Dragon is Wingull. Wingull might outspeed some, but if it doesn't KO them, if it even outspeeds them to begin with, then yeah, it's gonna go down. Even though Ice Beam is 4 times super effective against Altaria, both Flygon and Salamence, still scary. I am the last of the Pokemon League Elite Four, Drake the Dragon Master. In their natural state, Pokemon are wild living things. They are free. At times they hinder us. At times they help us. For us to battle with Pokemon as partners, do you know what it takes? Do you know what is needed? If you don't, then you will never prevail over me. Yeah, use Ultimate Strength and Cheating, put a bunch of rare candies in, use Mewtwo, go, pew pew pew. Totally how that works. Go Beach Ball! Shelgon fight! They're gonna not protect turn 1, they often protect turn 1. I go first, have Dragon Claw, get the one-shot, I don't get damaged by them, that is nice, great. Good, good. Who's next? Altaria. They have Dragon Dance, but that only affects the damage from Takedown, which isn't that bad. The only damage in was Dragon Breath and Takedown. It's definitely not the best moveset Altaria could have. When known as Altaria is a lot scarier with Earthquake. I bring in Cross, they Dragon Breath me, that's the best move they have. I Ancient Power. Come on, Omni Boost. Omni Boost. Okay, we're sticking with Crest. Good, 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 good. Now let's see, do I have enough speed to even outspeed anything? Because I'm still slow. The only other Pokemon I'm going to use... Ancient Power again to Salamence. I'll just Ancient Power again to see if I can get another Omni Boost. They use one of their full restores. They will go down now because of my boost. Critical. Not needed. I get another Lefty's heal. Don't get the boost here, but I got an Omni Boost. That is big. Alright, Flygon. None of the Flygons have a super effective move against me. Neither actually has Earthquake, which is weird. One of them just has Sand Attack as on the ground move. The other one is Dig. Those have Levitate, so I can't hit them with Earthquake. Ancient Power is not going to deal a lot of damage. I'll return. Go before the Flygon, thanks to that bit of speed investment, EV training, plus the boost is enough to outspeed the Flygon, which have 100 base speed. So, surprise there. Was it Dragon? I think there was Dragon. Both have Dragon Breath. Both Flygon are male level 53. I'll try another Ancient Power. They'll probably full restore here? No? I'll Ancient Power just to try and get another boost. Nope. I think it comes before the XP. Here's the other Flygon. This one's Flamethrower and Crunch. But Flamethrower deals the same damage as... Actually, very slightly more than Dragon Breath would. It's only the damage on the last one. No, I'll return. But the biggest damage, if I get a crit, they just go down first. I don't risk taking damage. I go into Salamence with a lot of HP. Okay, Dragon Breath. I started with a little bit more HP. I expect them to heal here. I want to go into Salamence with maximum. Maybe they don't. This is not going to change much. Just don't Sand Attack me. They heal as well. Okay, so I should have kept going. But this means I don't have it for Salamence, which I'm happy about. Come on, Crust. We got that Omni Boost that's really going to help us. They do bring in Sand Attack, damn. Make me miss as well. If they burn, I just full restore. No. I'm going to, because of the Omni Boost, and especially the defensive safety that it gives me, I'm going to stick with Crust. Because Swallow isn't going to deal that much damage against Salamence. Salamence would hit harder. Salamence has Fly to deal with, and Flamethrower to deal with Breloom. Crust is the Pokemon that I'd want to use against Salamence anyway. If it's one drop of accuracy, I'd want to stay in. I'll take a bit of the... Crust levels up again. I wanted Breloom to level up, but Crust is doing well. Been used a lot. Okay, Salamence. They will Intimidate to put me back at regular attack, but still the boost on everything else. Will I outspeed Salamence? Considering their level plus base speed, I don't expect it. Three Ancient Powers left. I outspeed off. I shouldn't have used that many Ancient Powers just trying to get a boost because of this, like, since the Sand Attack. Although, wait, I have Aerial Ace. I'll keep using Ancient Power because it's the biggest damage output for sure. But I have Aerial Ace to hit through the Sand Attack. Big damage, let's go. I just Aerial Ace next turn and win because they've already used their full restores. Right? Yeah. Crust outspeeding a Salamence. That is something. They do a Citrus Berry. Let's see. Crust was 9180, only a 60. Might just be enough. Aerial Ace? Just not. Okay, don't... Wait, they're trying to burn me maybe with Flamethrower? They are. However, I KO them from here. Although, if it's a speed tie, which it probably isn't considering I've kept going first, then it could be bad. And they're not going to damage me more than with just over what Flamethrower did. Ah! flying. Is there anything else that I can heal? No. Sure, I'll use Aerial Ace. Salam is one of the few Pokemon to learn Fly by level up while Fly was still an HM. Rayquaza is another. Aerial Ace hit through the sand attack. We got through that one. Pretty well. Thank you, Ancient Power Boost. One fight to go. I hoped and I expected I could get through here without deaths. That's why I didn't change any of my Pokemon. But the fact that I'm not getting to Stephen with my plans so far having worked out really well, it doesn't worry me, but it's still interesting. Alright, let's do some changes that I was going to do before here. Save first, then make the changes, save again. We are putting Protect on Breloom instead of Sludge Bomb, because I do not need Sludge Bomb in this final fight. I ended up not using it at all, but especially against Drake, if I would have used Fruit Punch, Sludge Bomb would have been better against most Pokemon. Okay, so Sludge Bomb gone. Get Protect. Just give some extra leftovers healing. Any bit of safety is appreciated. And then changing Swellow's item. One of the very few times the entire playthrough where I'm not using the Choice Band. Which means I deal even less damage against the mostly rock and steel types. However, the evasion from Double Team might work out, but I've also seen things not work out at all. Where they just hit through, they crit, and then too bad your Pokemon is dead now. Alright. Max Elixir. Crust. Fruit Punch. Elixir and Skydive. Elixir and Beach Ball. I haven't used the others. Heal everyone up. Get another Hyper Potion. Crust. Lefties now. Wow, you use lefties? So weird. Okay. Does Sky give Miracle Seed? Considering what I'm fighting, actually I might hit Claydol with something. Actually, no. I think with Skarmory I want to set up Double Team against him, but Claydol would be the perfect Pokemon to set up Breloom against, because Claydol doesn't actually use a Psychic move. It does set up the two different screens, but I can just use Bulk Up and Protect to stall them out. The only Pokemon... If I have... Assuming Skarmory's out of the way, and I set up against Claydol with Breloom, the only other Pokemon... I'm going to be faster than Armaldo. I'm going to take it out if I'm fully set up. Cradily goes down, Aggron goes down. Does Metagross outspeed me at that point is the only question. Breloom we said was base 70. Metagross, base 70. I have quite a bit of speed investment plus levels on it. So maybe, do I just start with Beach Ball instead? Just Flamethrower it? The Skarmory? But then they're not going to send a Claydol second. I want Claydol to come out second. But everything except for Skarmory and Metagross can hit Skydive super effectively. They might send in something else. And Skydive takes forever to hit Skarmory. I'll give it a try, considering the switch that Shelgon is still safe. Yeah. I'll try to see if I can do something with Double Team. But then again, they're aerial lacing in this Double Team. It doesn't matter. No, I'm gonna Beach Ball immediately. But if I Beach Ball, then their second Pokemon is almost certainly going to be Aggron. Which actually, now that I think about it, I can still set up Breloom against that. Just not as well against Claydol. But if I then send in Breloom against Aggron, I can't get the full setup. And I don't want their Metagross to come out. So I also need to choose my Pokemon in such a way that Metagross comes out after Breloom, like after Claydol, so that I can set up Breloom. Metagross is the scariest one. I have ways to beat the others. Aggron, Cradily, weak to Brick Break. Armaldo, not quite weak to Brick Break because it's part bug, but I can hit it well. I can also just do Armaldo versus Armaldo. Alright, Stevie. I agree with you, Wolfian. We lost the Nosepass, we can beat the champion without getting a second death. Here's Skarmory, here's Beach Ball. Beach Ball got a few levels, knowing I might use it against Phoebe, but mostly against Metagross and against Skarmory. Mostly trained it in its special attack and special defense. Special attack because I was using Flamethrower. Special defense mostly for Metagross' Psychic. Because I don't resist the other moves, they might still use the others, but I already have pretty good stats otherwise. Got a burn on him. Spikes are active, 1 layer so far. I'm probably going to full restore here. I don't mind it. Because that just gets rid of one of the 4 full restores he has. And it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't deal me extra damage. Although it might mean if they hit me now, because they're not burned anymore, they deal a bit more damage. No, they're toxic. Okay, if I find a safe turn, such as against Claydol, I might, with Breloom, I will heal Beach Ball. I really need to make use of what I consider safe fights, where I can heal the rest of the team. Okay, we're good here. And we can switch before sending out something. Aggron does come out. Optimal play here, just for Aggron to send out Breloom. If I send out Breloom, then they are sending out something that isn't called Claydol after Aggron. Aggron made sense because the only thing they can super effectively hit Beach Ball. If I send in Armaldo now, we should be safe against Aggron. Then they might send in their Claydol next. Even though it's not the strongest against me, it's still good. Aggron's special attack is only 60. They have a bunch of special moves. And just because of my base defense, I do well against Earthquake. Yeah, I change. I go Armaldo. Go Crust. Oh yeah, a bit of Spikes damage, right? Although lefties will heal, because we're not at the end of the turn yet. So in some sense, it's not as effective. Little Earthquake. Taught it that when I found the TM. Got it. First try. Aggron down, 4 to go. Send in Claydol. All 4 of Steven's remaining Pokemon have a super effective move against Crust. 3 have Ancient Power, 1 is Stab Meteor Mash. So Metagross is the optimal Pokemon here, so I'm hoping they don't choose that. They just go for super effective, not Stab super effective. Cradily next. Which is not Metagross, which is good. But it also isn't Claydol. So maybe they just take the first one that has Stab super effective. Because Cradily and Armaldo do have that. Or because they just used Aggron, they use the next they check the next Pokemon on the list first, which is Cradily. Do I have something that's stat weak to Earthquake? No. How will I send out Claydol before Metagross? Okay, Cradily. Can I safely set up against that with Fruit Punch? Not really. Because Fruit Punch is weak to Cradily Sludge Bomb. Cradily actually has a pretty good physical attack too. I am staying with Crust, I think. Yeah. Staying with Crust. They have Stab Ancient Power that's super effective. If they get the Omni Boost and I don't, that could be troublesome. Earthquake hits for 100, Ancient Power hits for 90, potential of boost. I'll see what Earthquake does. It's a bit stronger, so it might just cost me one less attack that way. Just over a third? Okay, just don't get an Omni Boost. That's big damage, though. It's about 70 damage. I don't remember if I was at full HP. So on a crit, they take me out here. There's a risk that they don't. Earthquake again. Ancient Power again. So Earthquake definitely does over a third, so I can go Ancient Power. Maybe Ancient Power 3 times is enough. I can definitely do that here. I could also heal. I'm gonna Ancient Power first. Try and get the KO, but that means that put me at a risk with the next Pokemon. If they don't heal, which would be weird, then the worst that can happen is they crit me and Ancient Power boost, which is very unlikely. I will heal here. Beach Ball's still poison, I have to pay attention to that, and Spikes is still a thing. They do heal. Alright, knowing what Earthquake did, I can do at least one Ancient Power. Try and get a boost. 10%, we've already had it once. Can Fuzzle Ray. I'm not gonna play around with that, I'll just remove it with the Yellow Flute. Healed that confusion, good, good. Stone boost. I want the boost, you don't get the boost. 70 damage again, they don't boost, good, good. Earthquake. Just want to make sure I hit the damage ranges, that's for sure enough. I could risk go for it now. If I hit him, that's higher HP. I could also full restore. Let's get rid of it. I think I full restore. This full restore gets rid of confusion. I think it's one of the earlier games where full heal or full restore. I think full restore doesn't do confusion. Full heal does. Lower damage than before. Good. And they didn't heal. I'll take it. A lefties heal. I still go first. Ancient Power for a boost, please. I expect Armaldo next, because that's still next in the order, and it has a stab super effective move. However, Armaldo is also weak to my Armaldo stab. And if they might check that, in which case Metagross comes out next. If Metagross comes out next, hopefully Shelgon does enough. Cross levels up again. Using it a lot more than I expected. Okay, Armaldo. They have Aerial Ace, so I still can't safely use Balloon. Okay, so we get this one. If we get past Metagross, we basically win. See, they're stronger. Slightly better defense than Cradily. Actually, they might, yeah, maybe just, but they're also weak to Ancient Power. I don't think I trained Shelgon well enough. I focused on the special defense for Psychic, but Meteor Mash still going to do a lot. Ancient Power from them. Survive it. That's a lot of damage, though. Do I heal that from full? I'm trying to... I should really pay attention in these scary moments. The exact damage it does. Get an approximate idea of how much a crit would do and if I can survive that. Not that it really matters, I just need them to not crit me. Because I didn't start with... Actually, if I start with Swallow, they probably would have sent a Cradily second. So I didn't get the setup I wanted. Ooh, that on a crit would have killed me. That's just over 100 damage. Just give me a boost, please. It's the last time I'm using Ancient Power this game. Got the boost. Oh. Okay, so if Metagross comes out, do I keep using Crust? And hope I outspeed? I'm higher level than I was before. Metagross is slower than Salamence. I outspit Salamence. Claydol next. I have the boost. But Fruit Punch is so good at sitting up against Claydol and then can take out Metagross. I have pretty good speed, unless Steven really highly EV trained his Metagross in speed. I'm going to outspeed it because I'm a few levels higher, plus pretty good speed investment. I'm going to bulk up first, boost my defenses, see what they have. And we're going to keep track of Light Screen and Reflectors. It counts a turn they are used, however Brick Break does break the screens. There's that too. So that's turn 1 of Light Screen there. Two of Light Screen, 1 of Reflect. Do I just stall them out? No, not really. Because I can break them anyway. Heal Beach Ball, just in case I use them. So that's the best move they have, this damage. Stab Earthquake, not very effective. With 2 bulk ups, that's 14 damage. Let's say 15 for ease of calculation. Without bulk ups, that would have been about 30 damage. On a crit, that's 60 damage. They can deal maximum around 60 damage. I'm at 165. So I can very safely set up fully with bulk ups. And then hopefully on a turn that I heal, because I will do that. On a turn that I heal, they set up a screen again, they don't hurt me. And then I hit them with a bunch of Brick Breaks. And then I hopefully outspeed Metagross. Because if I end up not outspeeding Metagross and hit me with Psychic, that hurts. Because Fruit Punch is pretty speedy. That's not nice. It's pretty speedy. Really high attack. Give it some good investment. I think I gave it mostly investment in speed, knowing that I had bulk up and knowing this was one of my plans for the final fight. Though I needed a lot of power as well for the Wall Rain, so I'm not sure. Because they know Reflect more off, so they're gonna Reflect. I can keep track. I can just look at the power point for bulk up to know how many I've done. But I can also just skip a turn by using it again. So I'm at 5 now. They set up the Reflect. That's fine. So we're on turn... That was second turn of Light Screen. I want to heal the turn they set up one of the screens. So I protect here just to stall a turn. If Fruit Punch outspeeds Metagross, I should win. With plus 6 stages of attack, does the ×4 multiplier, I expect a Brick Break without boost should do at least a quarter. Okay, we bulk up again. This is turn 4 of Light Screen. I don't think I've bulked up this much, so this should be fine. Just in case I miss something, bulk up should fail. Yeah, just skips a turn. Earthquake again. This should be Light Screen running out now. So that I can fully heal just in case Metagross is going to hurt me. Although, lefties. Does it heal at least then? I think so. Yeah, I'll get the lefties heal from the turn Metagross is sent out, so I just attack now. Break the screen, we get that animation. Boom! If I can take out a resisted hit on a Claydol, I should be able to take out a Metagross. Metagross 80 base HP, 130 defense. But Claydol has 60 and 105, resists it. Claydol goes down in 1 hit. Does Metagross? I think so. This was a really scary E4. Did I make it? Let's go! 6 Hall of Famers! That was a scary one. To make it through with 6 is amazing. I had trust in this team. I leveled them up just a little more. That might have helped with certain outspeeding things here, like Armaldo against Salamence, which really surprised me. Wow! The feelings you have for your Pokemon. Not one in particular. And the Pokemon that responded to those feelings with all their might. They came together as one and created an even greater power. And thus, you were able to grasp victory today. Now that I think about it, with not having deaths here, I didn't need a replacement, main replacement before. I take quite a lot of Pokemon into what will be the next Gen 3 playthrough. Not the next one that we do, the next Gen 3 playthrough, which will be XD. Originally I wanted to catch a Flygon, but unfortunately my Destin encounter was Cacnea, and that was legal because I needed a Cacturn. So I'm going to go into XD without Flygon. I really wanted to use Flygon and Earthquake there, but if I do Sapphire after this to try and catch one, then maybe that's the Claydol encounter, because that's also something that's legal in the desert that I still need. But even if I catch the Flygon, it means using a lot more Pokemon from the box, and I just have less options for XD. With all the captures I've done, I can actually start with a full team when we get to XD. I can start. It's not a great team, but it's a team. A Delcatty, future Cacturn, Cradily. So we have Cradily again in a Ore game. I can start with Gulpin and with Nosepass, the new one that I caught, and then use C-Dot as my 2X. Because I definitely don't want to use Mareep and Ore. I want to keep that for a console, preferably a Hoenn game. So there's options, but I'm gonna have multiple grass types again, just like I did in Coliseum. And the scary thing about XD is that there's more Shadow moves, and Shadow moves are super effective against non-Shadow Pokemon, which is going to be my full team. Well, we're going to do something fancy before that. The next loop through the generations is when we get to XD. I'll have a regular XD playthrough that I do usually once a week now. I'm going to stream that on Friday, that's on the schedule. Just a regular playthrough with some Pokemon that I still don't use as often. And I believe Flygon is actually on the team, so that way I guess I do get to use Flygon in Coliseum. I mean XD. Next playthrough is not going to go do Gen 4, because normally I do all the generations in order. But there's two side games, or at least games that I consider to be side games for Foreverlocke purposes, that I haven't done. Because the Oddish, I killed the Oddish in the postgame of Blue, I have a full team that I can use in Let's Go Pikachu. And then Legend ZA is Foreverlockable, so that'll be soon. I'll tell you about that once the credits are rolling. Brandon can't go in. Steven, shall we go on a date? Want a kiss? This room. It's so big and mirrored. I feel awkward if you kiss now. Can we please just record your Pokemon that prevailed through harsh battles? It is here that League Champions are honored. With a kiss! No! Come on, let's record your name as a trainer who triumphed over the Pokemon League. And the names of the partners who battled with you. 6 Hall of Famers! Thank you, Claydol, for coming before Metagross. Maybe Stephen thought, oh, he can hit super effectively. We don't need Metagross yet. Our Hall of Fame team consists of Beach Ball, Fruit Punch, caught in this playthrough, Crust. We got Bat. We got Skydive. And Sky made it in. Let's go. Hall of Fame. They put the screenshot in. The person who, like the real person Sky, who the Chico is named after, will be very happy with that. League Champion! With a lot of time, a lot of that in contest. Now we're actually going to see a decent amount of Pokemon here. Interesting. I really like that about the Gen 3 credits, how you can see a lot of your Pokemon that you have registered in the dex as obtained. So in a speed run, I think you have Mudkip, Marsham, Swampert, Cast Form, and maybe one other Pokemon you use for HMs. Look, it's XE001, the Seedot and the Nosepass I'm going to use next playthrough. The Shroomish that was my Breloom. Skeeting we're going to use next time. Luftisk, I'm not sure how that's going to work. Luleep for next playthrough. That's a Tailo that eventually became my Skydive. You see Yanma there. I have a Yanma that I got in Coliseum a good while back. But I really remember the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire that shows your whole journey. Yeah, I've done Omega Ruby once. I was playing with 15. Alpha Sapphire that was somewhere in the 30s. Done Ruby Sapphire Emerald once already. This is the first time I've repeated a Gen 3 game. It's Rayquaque! It's Mocha the Eevee. Still have that to use. Delivery. Oh, where's my... Do we see my shiny? No, it's just Wingull. I need to show that after the credits. I have a shiny Wingull that I caught. And even though I already had my Wingull on the team, I wasn't going to replace that one. But since I still had a Pelipper that hadn't been used yet, even though I had a Pelipper in Gen 3 box, I have a shiny Wingull now slotted as Pelipper. So I might use that one. And now they start repeating, because we've seen these ones before. If you only have very few registered Pokemon, like in the speedrun, you're going to see the same ones over and over and over. Okay, so next playthrough. The next Gen 4 playthrough I intend to do is Platinum, which is a scary game. But I want to do that so I can use Giratina in it. I have a level 1 Giratina that I got from the Sinjo Ruins a while ago. I want to use that, so that'll be cool. That playthrough will have a Leafeon again, attempting that for the 3rd time in Sinnoh. And I want to catch an Electabuzz there to fill the Electivire slot that died a while ago in Gen 5. But we're not going to do Gen 4 next. As I mentioned it earlier, I finally have a full team of 6 that I can use in Let's Go Pikachu. I want to... Every Foreverlockable game, I want to play and complete at least once. And for Let's Go, you can't transfer any Pokemon into the game or just out. Except for Melton or Melmetal, but I want to use both of those in Gen 8. So I waited until some Pokemon died. And in case of Oddish, yeah, there was the only 2X. Well, there were a few 2X available, technically. But that was the only 2X available pre-Brock that wasn't already Hall of Famed. Because I can't get Bellsprout. Even though I think Bellsprout might already be in the Hall of Fame anyway. And then... I've already used Pidgey. I've already used both Nidorans. They're both in the Hall of Fame. So... Yeah, Oddish. However, the thing is with Oddish, I don't get a second Pokemon until I get to Celadon, assuming I can get into Saffron early, at least. Because my second Pokemon's going to be Hitmonlee, and everything else is obtained in or around Fuchsia City. Once I have either in Fuchsia City or once I get Sea Skin, like Surf, and get to a place like Seafoam Island for the Jinx, or the Cinnabar for the Fossil. I need to solo that game until almost at the 4th gym with just an Oddish that is not allowed to evolve. Let's play the intro. Still don't know what that rubber ball, rubber ball attack is. The intro looks really cool though. There's the art style with the lighters flying by, the different looks of how he looks when he's on the bicycle. Yeah, so next place is going to be Let's Go Pikachu. I'm going to start that playthrough on Wednesday, during my stream then. And I will just have an Oddish for probably all of that stream. And we're going to start by just catching a bunch of Oddish with the limited Pokeballs that I might have in the early game. Just to get Oddish candy and train up Oddish. Just to get some levels, but mostly stats, because I need stats. I don't like EV training early in the game, only just before the E4. And I don't like overspending on all the candies, because that kind of feels wrong as well. But I'm gonna need it. Oddish does have a type advantage against Brock, and I need a grass type for that gym anyway. I'll be fine against Misty. I should, although unless they have something like Psychic on Starmie, I'll have to check. With Lieutenant Surge, I resist their main moves, so that works. And then hopefully, just like in the Gen 1 and 3 console games, I get access to Saffron the moment I get to Celadon. I can just get tea or a drink. Although I do know they force you to do things in a certain order. They might do Rocket Hideout, like a Rocket Game Corner, obviously before Pokemon Tower, and only then the gym? I don't remember. If I can't get Hitmonlee before beating the gym, then that means 4 gyms with just Oddish. Although, against a grass gym, that Oddish might be okay as well. Well, let's post in the Foreverlocke Discord that I got some Hall of Famers. That's 6 new Hall of Famers. Glacia. The plan against Glacia worked out really well. Crust got an Omni boost early on against Drake and was able to win that. Steven was scary, but luckily he sent out Claydol before Metagross, meaning I could set up 6 times bulk up. Brick. I braked through Claydol's screens and then sent Metagross flying as well. I was scared of that finale and am very glad the plans worked out this time. Alright, let's use 2 Pokemon that I didn't get to use at all. Also, I want to do a contest. Oh, hi, it's Dad. He's home? Oh my god. Well, there's TV. Let's look at the TV. His mom don't even... Like, just call her honey, sweetie. You don't call her mom. There's a blue flying Pokemon versus home locales. Latios! Am I gonna catch Latios? I already have a Pokemon. Alright, who has the biggest move that I can use? Shelgon? Sure. If I see a Wormpole, we're using Shelgon. Wormpole! Alright, time for big moves and small Pokemon. Beach Ball, go. Burn a bug! Yumi's not gonna be happy with that. Yumi loves bugs. Because we did that. Water Pulse, which I wonder if we ever used Ba with Water Pulse. I got Water Pulse from Gym 8. I don't think I used Ba at any point outside of just training it up for the league. Alright, Sky, let's do 2 hits with you. Do Dig first. Just because You never use dig. Let's just use dig for the sake of it. And I also want to Giga Drain something. Sure, let's Giga Drain a Wurmple. And then let's go to the museum. Because something I do every time I'm in Hoenn, and I will do that when we get to Alpha Sapphire or Omega Ruby as well, which I plan to do once we get to Gen 6. Do master contests, fill out that museum. Wait, do I have fans now? Because I'm a champ? Tell me I have fans. Oh my god, Savannah! Oh my god! You're really strong. Yeah. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's Savannah! Oh my god! I like how there's still some trainers that say something else. And she just says it like a general thing. I love this little girl's like, oh my god, shake my hand, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Now, let's see. Since Nosepass died in Gym 6, Nosepass never made it to the end. Never made it to Lilligov City, therefore was never able to make it to Master Class. Wingull was the backup for all of them. I don't think I ever did the Hyper or Master Run contest with them. So everyone except Wingull will be here. We got a beauty contest winner. The incomparable Fruit Punch. The Pokemon Center Super Idol. We have the lovely and sweet Crust. The cute master. Won the cute contest. The chosen Pokemon. The one among Pokemon. Sky. The smart contest winner. Sky is very smart. The mighty tough hyper Pokemon Beach Ball. Tough contest winner. That was originally going to be Nosepass there. Yeah, they died before they got to Lilligov, so I trained up Shelgon a lot. I think I did that last week, Wednesday. Did contest with Shelgon. And then the non-stop super cool and inestimable Skydive. Cool Master. Let's check my ribbons on Wingull specifically. Have I done any hypers with them? No, because otherwise I do a master with them. Wingull is the highest stats. I don't feel like ending the finale though. I could just end it here. No. You know what? Let's do 2 contests. A hyper and a master. Just because we can. We have time. Shockwave can deal big damage. Ice Beam, same type of heal. Sure, we'll do beauty contest. Because Ba can hit then well with Ice Beam. But I'll first learn Shockwave. Pretty sure Wingull's stats on Beauty and with that cool and cute, which are next to it, or either maxed out or near maxed out. There's a lot of high stats. Ended up not needing it, but they're looking really good. Alright, contest! I love contests. I'm gonna make it part of the finale. I think the first Omega Ruby finale I did, the first time I was in Oras in a finale, I did a contest in the finale before actually challenging the league. Well, in this case, I showed a glitch. For those that missed some glitches, I showed off multiple throughout my adventure. There was a tuber in the abandoned ship who could walk through the wall. well, into the wall, you can't really jump through. There was the one I've known about, the aroma lady on the route next to Marvel City, who could walk over the ledge, which I've known. But if you put her on the ledge, you can walk and cycle through her by doing the normal ledge jump, which is funny. So those are clips. I assume there's still clips on my Twitch. I might have removed some, but definitely there's a lot of YouTube Shorts and TikTok videos that came out of this playthrough. Because I did the glitch showcase, I had the one death from Nosepass, I had the really close fight with Nosepass against Brawly. There was Maxie in the Slateport Harbor, who for some reason did not look like Maxie, he looked like a fat guy. That was weird, I still don't know how that happened. And then there was I think when I did the contest with Shelgon, Beach Ball, I did a super contest and got -2 black hearts on the overall score screen. And still won the contest easily. So that was really interesting to see how that would go, because I went past the normal bar for the points and then it went back. Sort of. All those clips are on YouTube, and I've saved them, and I intend at the end of 2026 to make a best of 2026 moments and just compile a lot of my funny clips, showcase clips, Foreverlocke goals. I don't have the finale. Why would Lunatone already give his explosion? Sure, whatever. Saves us time. I don't want it to be just, hey, I beat the Foreverlocke, and I don't have all the finale ones. Although I like, oh my god, yes, I made it through for the finales to do it. So I want to make probably a highlight, because I can't clip two things and then put them together. I can make two different highlights, make that into a video, and then from that highlight, I clip the highlight. So that'll probably be Breloom beating Metagross that turn. And then actually showing the Hall of Famers. That'd be cool. While these turns are going on, I'm gonna put some stuff in the Foreverlocke Discord. This episode of hitting weak Pokemon with strong moves, we incinerate a buggy. A buggy pal. Am I gonna get hurt? I'll just risk that I don't. I see. And if I get hit by 2 maximum, then that's fine. If everyone were to use a beauty move here, that'd be great. And just don't hurt me. That's fine, that's a beauty move. I'm not sure if I'll beat Lunone in points now, but I'll go first, being able to use a beauty move for big points. I get the crowd going. Actually, no, I went before Tifley because he used Water Pulse last turn. Tifley can get it. I'm still gonna Water Pulse. Do they have another beauty move? That might be a beauty move. Ah, it's big points for Tifley. Or to fly, because that's just the last part of Beautifly's name. Go burr! I haven't shown you that shiny yet. Unfortunately, the shiny happened off stream when I was playing on my own. That is the one risk about not streaming every single bit of my playthrough. Is if something cool like that happens, like a shiny, or something really unfortunate happens, like a death, I can't clip it, I can't show it. And especially the shinies I want to be able to show, but I couldn't. Definitely with a big advantage. Alright, I'll just Ice Beam, hurt them a little bit. Use Mist to try and not get hurt. I think if they would have gone last, they probably would have Hyper Beamed. It seems like it makes the most sense to me. Yeah, I think I beat him on round 1. We win, let's go back! And then before I forget, when I get the Lilycove, I'm going to show you the shiny Wingull that doesn't go back. Because my original Pelipper from, I think, Sapphire playthrough 3 was called the Wivowie, just because it sounds cute. That one died against, I think, Brandon on the way in the rival fight at Coast of the Weather Institute. Or it was Brandon in the rival fight at Lilycove. Which I feel is one of the few gripes I have with Gen 3 Hoenn. The final rival fight against your rival is... Not only is it in Lilycove, it's not late enough in the game, they don't even fully evolve their starter. And they have sucky moves too. Like on the Combuskin in my case. Show the Wingull. Like, sure, you have Wally who you fight at the end, and there's a lot of things you can do kind of out of order, and there's a lot of water as well. So where else would you place Brendan outside of maybe right before you enter the Sootopolis gym for the 8th gym challenge? That might be the only space. Okay, so here's my delivery that was my replacement for the Wivowie. I just called it regular delivery. But here, we use the same naming pattern a bit. Room service. Modest nature. Shiny. Have yet to teach you moves. I'll do that on my own time. But that will be used probably instead of delivery. Might be used in XD when we get to it. Might not. Once it's a Pelipper, I get access to Surf, which... Maybe I will level up that Wingull at least one time, just so that it becomes a Pelipper and I can teach it Surf here. Because having Surf is just really useful. Sure, it's the spread damage like it's halved in some games, and it's like in the double battles, and that's mostly what XD is. But having that over just Water Gun is good. Because even spread damage on an individual Pokemon is still going to be stronger than Water Gun is. And I can't teach it Water Pulse because I've already used the TM on Wingull. Okay, Beauty Contest. Use Ba. If I get enough points to get me into the museum, I will not do it. Because I want Breloom to stay there. They were the original. But I will screenshot the artwork if it works. And then likely after this contest, we will end the stream. And I'll find someone to raid into. Is there anyone with the fat guy sprite? Not here. There was one at the bottom left in the hyper contest. Don't see it here. I was gonna point out what Max has turned into. But I guess you have to watch the clip. It's on YouTube Shorts and it's on my TikTok. And maybe just on regular clips as well. On my Twitch. I wonder what the next playthrough is gonna be like. It's gonna be very different. It's been a little bit since I've done a Switch playthrough. I don't like to do too many of them just because the stream setup for it is awkward. Streaming Gen 1 through 7 is just so much easier for me. That's why I try to do a lot of the Switch playthrough, so it's Sword, Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Scarlet Violet. A lot in my own time, so I don't have to have the full stream setup, and I just stream the start of the playthrough, and then the end of the playthrough, the finale, and don't do a lot in between. Okay, we'll start with Shockwave, because that's the best points. Hey, Wobbuffet, can you just Destiny Bond? Rodlock, can you just Explosion at both turn 1? So we just don't have to worry about you guys? Good points for Choopy. Okay. I don't think Rodla has a lot of things that damage me. I'm just gonna Water Pulse. For most points from me. Choopy had mostly cute moves, I believe. Rest, Tail Whip. I think Sweet Kiss. Then maybe a beauty move, or maybe they're just also in beauty contest without a beauty move, although that's somewhat unlikely. Live screen just to protect themselves because they don't want an explosion yet. Mirror Coat, Safeguard protects themselves. Encore, I think, can make the others nervous, and then has big points with their Destiny Bond. That might be their setup. That puts me second, because... No! Still puts me first. Let's go, second Shockwave. Shockwave! Big points! 6 points for... Ah! And with Choopy now being third, Tail Whip won't be as effective. I'm gonna Sweet Kiss so they can show their other move. No Sweet Kiss, because might as well try and make someone nervous while still getting 2 points. We're scoring really good so far. Really well. Real good points. Mirror Code just to protect themselves again. Next turn they will Destiny Bond. Rodlect, I assume next turn will Explosion. Choopy needs to go last to really make use of Tail Whip. And then as either protect themselves or make them nervous, try to go first. If they go third, that's probably the worst position they can be in. I'd like to go first to get the bonus. Would be fun if Rodlect goes first, because they can get Explosion into it. Wobbuffet does. Wobbuffet will use a smart move. Rodlect will then use Explosion, bring it back to 4, and then I can bring it to 5 for the Ice Beam. That's likely. They Destiny Bond for the big points, yep. But that's a smart move. No, no, no. A rod level explosion, which does the same thing but is a beauty move. So they'll get the +1 point for it being a beauty move. Yay! Point. And you have Bah! Who's gonna Ice Beam, hurt Wobbat a bit, hurt Rodlect a lot more, because it's a beauty move. And then I get the crowd going and still score the most. And then Choopy likely will just use Tail Whip for 6 points. Yeah, I am for sure getting the artwork. Got some big points, 5 being the lowest. But I reached the end of the mark and I already had so many points in round 1. Yeah, I definitely won this contest. And there's definitely enough points to get me to the museum. Although I won't accept it. The artwork will be made, though. Big points. I think 2 times throughout all the contests that I did with all the other Pokemon, I got maximum hearts on this page. That was really cool. Best in both rounds. Let's go. That's the Master Ribbon, so they can't say they are a Master Beauty or Beauty Master Pokemon. Was that the Rocket Sprite bottom right? I don't think you ever see that sprite anywhere. Alright, let's see the artwork. We're not going to put it in the museum, but we'll see it. A Wingull. No. No. Because they already have Breloom in there. And I think that's okay. We do have that. I'm going to end it off here. I would like to thank everyone for being on this longer journey with me, because I took a lot longer with this playthrough due to mostly the contests. A lot of people were like, oh yeah, you're playing, let's say, Gen 3 Ho, and I like that. A lot of people were excited to see me do contests. And with the new contest series now having had its first few recordings, and by the time this hits YouTube, that might be on YouTube as well, I think a lot of people would like that. Hopefully it is doing well, or will do well if it is yet to release. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you always remember that you are worth it. Goodbye.